Well, yeah, she did. And I'll tell you another thing about Hillary. She'll be tough on ISIS because she's mad at them. Without her, they would have been created. They owe everything that they got, all of their success to Hillary, and they haven't chipped in a fucking nickel into her campaign. She hadn't fought over yet. Come on in. We're going to start right from the very beginning. I know you're an important guy. You might be the only person that could possibly get me a gig. Nobody else.
You got a baby.
Yeah, I don't have a baby. All right, so we have a lot. Oh, by the FBI today, the big announcement. They did foil another terror plot. They was hatched by the FBI. Another one. They keep ratcheting up those terror plots. Get them out of the way. So, what else?
Tell about that.
Tell about, I don't have time. I got 50 acts waiting to go on. Look at this. All right? I'm not even on page 1 yet. Over here looking at notes, and I'm already 20 minutes in. We started late. Forget about the left form is the left form. We're glad that you're here today. We dedicate this show to Michael Ratner, Ramon Jimenez. It's over for him. All right? It's like we had a big bag of pure cocaine for the last year, and we're down to the last half a gram, trying to keep it going. That's it, man. You run out of the blow, all right? Now it's become a Salvadoran election from 1985. Cristiani versus Bogosan. All right, so we're going to continue right along. You got a kid. So everyone's doing like 10 minutes tonight. We got 10 minutes, and then I'm basically finished. You guys have been great. All right, I got a lot of stuff. I'll do it in the hall for you later. We have some very progressive comedians here. Good people. Forget, if you want to go in there, in the other rooms, go ahead before they start the embalming. Right? Because that's what you're going to get in the other rooms. You're going to sit there and say, yes, I agree, I agree, I agree. It's the flip side of the McLaughlin group, right? Where you get 5 points of view in the McLaughlin group. The right, the far right, the extreme right, the fascist right, and the third right. Amy. Bring your own milk bottle. All right. Baby food of your choice. Boy, she's going to kill me. She's got a good sense of humor. I'm sure she's laughing at this. Yeah. Do you remember Credico said? You know, I watch the show all the time. I love the show. I get some people who like it more than I do, and they don't have a sense of humor. Were you upset with me? Where do you have to go? You have another one?
Yes.
There are no more panels. They're all over. They're finished.
What's your name so we know who to be upset about?
Mine? Dennis Bernstein. Randy Credico is my name. Randy Credico. You don't know who I am? I paid for this microphone, Mr. Green. Well, where were we? Anyway, we're doing okay. We're doing great tonight. I forgot what I was going to say about, yes, it's a great show. It's a great show. I listened to it. And I have a show on Saturday at 7 a.m. on Saturday. All right, called If You're Up This Early, You're Crazy, or Crazy If You're Up This Early. So it's a great time. I go on before David Rothenberg, who's a huge Hillary supporter, and he walks in, yeah, you're supporting that friggin' Jew? This guy's Jewish. You're supporting that Jew. Yeah, David, I am. I mean, I'm not like a radical. I'm not walking around, you know. Yeah, I'm not like feeling the burn, you know. It's not that crazy. You know, I understand it. It's like the best thing we've had since McGovern, but you know, everyone overlooked the fact that he supports drone strikes. He supports it, but all of his supporters say, I don't want to hear that. Don't tell me that. And he supported the crime bill. Let's be honest, he supported, back then, in my view, it was a good bill. That's my opinion. Doesn't bring that. Go for the jugular with her, would you please? I know what's in those Wall Street transcripts. She supports war. She's killed hundreds of thousands of people. He should really go for the jugular. Ricky Ray Rector, a guy who was missing his brain. She urged Bill Clinton. I couldn't have done it without her support. 1992. She urged me to go back. I was getting my ass kicked by Songus, and she said, get your ass down there in Arkansas. A guy's missing his brain, he ain't gonna feel it anyway. So I went down there and killed the son of a bitch. I picked up some of that drug money in Meara airstrip. But anyway, so we're going to move right along. I was talking about Afghanistan. This is one last thing about Afghanistan. We've been there now 15 years. I got to tell you something. No one wins in Afghanistan except for Afghanistan. They are 36-0 at home. All right? So if you have a gambling agent, always take Afghanistan and the points at home. All right? Imagine if you had parlayed it from the time that Alexander the Great tried it through the Brits in 1842 when they left with one man out of 14,000. They don't lose at home. Ask the Russians. We're there 15 years. We beat the Japanese in 2.5 years. We can't beat a bunch of guys in tents in Afghanistan in 15 years. You know. So, not that I want us to. Who's us? I don't have anything to do with this. I don't have anything to do with this. This has nothing to do with me. It's my leaders that are there, and whoever they work for. Wall Street. There's something there. If you don't have any drugs or some kind of commodity, we don't go. That's why we got out of Somalia, because all they had was a shit called khat, K-H-A-T, which you need about 500,000 gallons of it to get a mild buzz. All right? Khat. We got out of it in 1994 when Richard Secord called up the CIA and said, I can't move this shit. All right, so we're going to move right along with a very... It's the first time I've ever done that and it actually worked. I've tried that before. I don't know. You go anywhere in this place, you'll find 6 or 7 people that are going to say that this event today is a false flag. All right, let's bring on. You got to have a sense of humor. Don't walk around. Seriously, like Leona Helmsley. Let's have a good time here. Coming up is a very funny guy. You may have seen him if you saw the that love fest they had in Washington with the president and the correspondents, and they did that dinner. He was on MSNBC. Does it every year as the commentator. As a comedian, given his expert opinion. He does a great job, and he always has been around for this event and other events like it, and he works around the city. Just opened for Robert Klein. Please welcome Scott Blakeman.
Thank you for Randy, Credico, I wish you had a brother. Yeah, how do you follow a newborn? Frankly, and Juliana just told me that you will be on the show next year, so she's ready. Anyway, so nice to be back in the Left Forum, and we've spared no expense for the backdrop. I appreciate it. This isn't some right-wing thing where all the money goes to where it should. And I love being Left Forum. I've been here many times. I love any conference where there's a panel, is Bernie Sanders liberal enough? I love that to me. This is the place I want to be, you know. Because I'd rather withhold my vote for Bernie and wait, maybe Noam Chomsky will come in at the last minute. But I've done a lot of fundraisers for Bernie. I've done 3 or 4 fundraisers for Bernie, and I mean, I'm happy to do it. And I'm proud to say that we've raised in excess of double figures from all 4 of those. So I think they're well over the top. And Bernie, really, I think pretty much you agree. Anytime he wins a primary, my first thought is, why doesn't he just drop out? He just keeps winning. It's going to hurt Hillary by winning. And if he wins a nomination, it's really going to hurt Hillary for winning the nomination. Really disrespectful. What does he want, really? And if he's elected president, that really is not going to be a good thing for Hillary. I don't think that, what is he trying to prove with the winning every primary? You know? I mean, it's insane. I was on MSNBC, and I tried to get this in. I didn't get a chance to, but they had one quick shot of Bernie sitting at the dinner, which was the most coverage MSNBC has given Bernie the entire campaign. And they had a show in a little corner, awaiting Donald Trump, somewhere. You know? They have to put awaiting Donald Trump. And when I was at a bar the other night, they had MSNBC on. Every time I looked up, it was Trump. You know, and the only time they flashed Bernie, when will he drop out? That was the only time. The New York Times, like, Sanders wins primary, prolonging the race. Literally what they said. Is that what it's called? I call it winning 20 states and almost winning others. You know. So but I met Bernie in '92 when he ran for Congress the first time. I did a fundraiser for him at this place Nadine's. It's no longer around. But nothing's no longer around. Everything's not longer around in New York. But then he said to me, it's not a joke, but this stayed with me. He said, your comedy reminds me of my politics, and it really has stayed with me. And now I can't get on at his rallies, but still, it's Sarah Silverman's on, not you, but it's she's great. But anyway, it's kind of hard to believe that every time I see them show Trump on screen, don't you have to sort of pinch yourself and go, what horror film am I watching here? It's like some late night Cinemax horror film where and here's Jake Tapper interviewing Donald Trump, who, it just still doesn't make sense. It's not that we haven't elected or nominated horrible people who stand for horrible things, but, other than being a racist and Islamophobe, he really doesn't stand for anything. He doesn't say anything, and people embrace him. It's incredible to me. Howard Dean, who I wish was still in politics, got booted out because he was happy. I mean, literally, he was considered a nut the next. Remember that? And it's like, we're gonna win. Oh, he's psychotic. Get him out of there. Wow, what is he happy about? He just won. Get him out of there. Trump, everything out of his mouth is horrible. And they go, and I love when people say, I like the fact that he says what's on his mind. Let me just tell you something. Saying what's on your mind is the least unique human trait anybody could have. There are billions of people in the world who constantly say what they're. I just took the A train over here. Several guys were saying what's on their mind to themselves, but still. Nobody's going, he should run. I like that. The media, of course, has gotten all of this wrong. The Trump supporters are tapping into the anger. It's not anger. I mean, have any of us been angry lately or frustrated? We get angry in front having a newborn. I'm sure you get frustrated. You don't get, when your baby wakes you up in the middle of the night, you don't go, let's ban Muslims. Really frustrated. I'm really angry. Let's deport 11 million people. It's not a progression. And it's just, incredible. And it literally says nothing. And that's the good thing about Trump. And I'm an optimist. I think the positive thing is whatever votes he gets, we can see how many ignorant people there are in this country. We can actually get in. So I've always wondered, is it 3 million, 3.5? We'll get the exact number by election day. So it's helpful in that regard. I think it's helpful. And actually, I'm a positive person. I think that Trump running is a positive because he does very well. He does, sadly, with a lot of groups, I guess, but basically he owns the poorly educated group, right? And he actually said, I love the poorly educated, which they love him, And so the fact that Trump does so well with the poorly educated, I think is a good thing because it's a great incentive to stay in school. That could just be an ad, Trump poorly educated. Okay, I'm going to stay in. But it baffles me again. Look, Ted Cruz is beyond horrible too, but he stood for things, all bad, all horrible. Ted Cruz had this, I admire him in one way. He gets to say the most banal, mundane things with such confidence. I think all of us here, we feel we have things to say. I'm always insecure, I'm shy. Ted Cruz gets anything going, I know where the bathroom is. It's not down the hall to the right. To the left, I like how it's a great thing. Trump will go, I love the bathrooms. They all love me. I love the bathrooms. I go to the bathroom. I have no problem in the bathroom. Let me just say that. No problem in the bathroom. These are only debates that are R-rated now, too. It used to be like civics lesson. Van Jones said this on CNN. It's very sad. His daddy used to watch debates. Now you can't have the kids in the room during Republican debates. And meanwhile, Bernie has won 20 primaries at least, and get it from the very beginning. What's he trying to prove? Why is he even running? What's the point now? Let's have 9 months to talk about Trump. And then John Kasich wins one primary, his own state, going, he's got a shot now, I think. Let's take another look at Kasich because he's only 900 delegates behind. I think that's it. And Rubio finishes 4th. This is a game changer right there. The 9 votes Rubio got puts his whole campaign in a much stronger position now. And Carson got -5 votes, but it wasn't -10. And I think maybe, I love that Ben Carson. He just is, I don't know what he was exactly. But it just shows because we always get, in the dating world, always he's a doctor. Not all doctors are that smart, apparently. Not all surgeons, not all brain surgeons are brain surgeons, frankly. But he was fascinating. He was like a performance artist. Ben Carson was like a mime when he was searching for words that he had no idea about. But Donald Trump, I mean, it's, you know, I only have a few minutes. I can do 3 hours, but I don't relish this. I mean, as I said, I hate when people say, "Oh, this must be great for you, comedian." No, it's horrible for the country. I don't really take any. I would rather have like semi-bad candidates and work a little harder to come up with jokes. Really, frankly, when Sarah Palin endorsed Trump, I didn't rejoice in glee and going, "I'm nauseous." Really, you know. But Trump is just doesn't say anything. Like, what are we doing with the economy? We're gonna have so many jobs. We're gonna have millions of jobs. How many jobs do you want? I'll give you 12 jobs. The jobs love me. I've dated many of the jobs. I asked the jobs to put on a bathing suit. I love the jobs. You're gonna have so many jobs. You're gonna have one less job. That's how many jobs you're gonna have. You're gonna give other people jobs. That's how many jobs you're gonna be. And we're gonna win. We're just gonna win. Regardless of what the winning is, we're gonna win. We're gonna win, and you know, and you're gonna win so much we're gonna lose. That's how much you're gonna want to lose occasionally, frankly, because the winning will be so ridiculous that the winning. People go, "Wow, I like that." He says what's on his mind with the winning. I mean, it's literally. But he can say anything. Again, Howard Dean, smart, good, just goes, "Woo! Get him out of there!" He's crazy. What is he excited about? He's psychotic, you know. Just go down the list. Didn't you think after the John McCain thing in the beginning, John McCain, I like guys who aren't captured. Okay, that was it. Thank you, Donald. It goes up in the polls. It's an amazing, amazing thing. And his wife is very supportive. She actually said, "My husband is no Hitler." What a ringing endorsement that is, you know. That's what I look for in the dating world. On my you know, JJ profile, I say, "Please don't think of me as Hitler." That's always, you know, he's no Hitler, really. Boy, that's he's nothing else, but he's no Hitler, you know. You know, but it's just winning and this, and they asked him during the debates, never answers the question, "What's your health care plan?" There are a lot of plans out there. A lot of plans. Yeah, a lot of plans. You're going to be so healthy, you're going to be sick of being healthy. It's going to really, you'll be nauseous. That's how healthy you're going to be. You know, it's just amazing. But Bernie is great, and you know, he. I think look, he's still in it. You know, I mean, you know, and he, I hope he would pick, you know, who would pick, of course, Elizabeth Warren would come to mind, but if she doesn't want to do it, Larry David, I think, would be a great choice. Because it would confuse people. Usually, if we're sending the vice president, then they wouldn't know what they're sending the vice president. Like, is that him? I'm not sure. I think it is him. Well, you know. Larry David is a good impression. There's a guy, James Thurber, actually does even better impression. But frankly, I thought about it. Any Jewish guy over 40 can do a Bernie Sanders impression. Unwittingly, you know, I just talked to my father earlier. How do you want to go into the city? You want to the bridge or the tunnel? The tunnel? The tunnel? What am I, a billionaire? I'm going to spend $19 for the tunnel? The same drink? That's for the 1%. You know, we can all do it. And you know, there's a big difference between Bernie and Hillary. I will say, not to get into a debate, there is a big difference between Hillary and Trump. So please. The people say it's the same. You know, it's like, evil is evil. There's no lesser of two evils. No, there's different kinds of evil. You know, it's evil to, if you get undercharged for something like at Starbucks and not telling them, or genocide. I think there's a difference there, you know, just off the top of my head. But, because we've had a lot of experience with Hillary when she was our senator. I remember she claimed that she was part Jewish. Remember this? And I did a little research. How is Hillary part Jewish? Apparently, it's our 9th cousin once removed. Step, great-great-grandfather once had a brisket sandwich. And I have to say, and I feel a little sheepish about it, the other comedians can relate to this. You know, I know all of you are outraged that she's in, you know, I agree that she seems to be in bed with Wall Street and that, and it's outrageous that she would get $250,000 a speech. I know that's outrageous to you. The comedian, when I heard she gets $250,000 a week, my first instinct was, I wish I had her agent. You know, usually it's me, it's like, it's good exposure. There's no money, but there's good exposure. So for that reason alone. And she only has to do 20 minutes. That's the amazing thing. You know, and she's going to bring Bill Clinton in, so I guess she's going to make welfare even more restrictive, apparently. We're going to bring him in. Oh, that's good. But it's kind of hard to believe the whole thing. But again, through all of this, and all the communities, and all the political means, we are optimists. And the weird thing it used to be, as I said, politicians were, not helpful, but at least semi-normal. We were the crazy ones. Now, comedians are the ones who try to make sense. And I think a lot of us have some good ideas, practical ideas, like to solve some of the world's problems. Like, here's something that always comes up too. This one issue. It's like, should we distribute condoms to high school kids? I see this every time, the West Side Spirit. And the argument is if you give out condoms to high school kids, it'll encourage them to have sex. Now, all I can say is I carried one around for years. I received no encouragement whatsoever. But there are other practical things, like, for example, sadly, we still have a lot of drug addicts, and Randy's been incredible in getting, fair drug sentencing and changing all that, the horrible Rockefeller drug laws, and it's incredible what he does. But sadly, we still have drug addicts, and what we should at least give them clean needles so they don't get diseases, right? And it's a simple thing. Mitt Romney was against that. Or Mitt Romney, thank God he didn't win, but then compared to Trump, it's sort of like, but they said, compared to Trump, anything is, nothing compared to Trump. That's appealing. That's really good. Nightmares compared to Trump. I prefer that. I prefer the cold sweats, actually. Mitt Romney should never have won. I mean, he did not belong in the White House. He already has 5 houses. I think that should. One is in La Jolla, near San Diego. La Jolla, it's a Spanish word for the 1%. But Mitt Romney said we should not give out clean needles to drug addicts because it'll encourage people to do drugs. And if you're sitting around tonight going, I'm glad you brought that up. No, I'd like to become a heroin addict. It's the hygiene that concerns me. If you drop the syringe, does the 5-second rule apply? Which is why there are very few Jewish intravenous drug users. We're just too neurotic about the whole process. Like, I bought the heroin, the seal was broken. Is it still good? I'm a little concerned. Can I return it? I don't have the receipt. No, in lieu of that, can I return it for a drug of equal or lesser value? In that case, would the Groupon still apply? Or can I go to Craig for a different drug program? And it says May 3rd. Is that used by? I'm a little concerned. Can I freeze it? Does it keep? Is it kosher for Passover? Anyway, okay, well, listen, this has been so much fun. Thank you so much, Scott Blake.
Scott Blake, when you great, huh? Where do we get crowds like this, huh? Very different. Not at Giggles Comedy Club in Framingham, right? Scott Blakeman once again. All right, coming up right now, we got 2 more acts, all right? Got it? You cannot leave. I'll be embarrassed. They'll blame it on me, especially the last act if I'm the only one watching. All right, coming up now is a very funny woman. She's works everywhere. Goes way back. She was on the Arsenio Hall show when I did the Tonight Show, right? Right. Back in I did the Jack Parr show. We did it. All right, it's very, very funny, hip, and socially aware. Miss Rhonda Hansome. Give her a round of applause.
Thank you. Thank you for that applause, God. I love that sound. Makes me feel all dark and lovely. Don't go left, but be polite. Move to the right, doing the reactionary. Close your eyes to where you're bound, and you'll be found doing the reactionary. All the best dictators do it. Billionaires are marching to it. 500 love to swing it. Trump and Bloomberg love to sing it. Close your eyes and you'll be found doing the reactionary. Hey, yes. My name is Rhonda Hansome. And I am an American, yes. Oh my God, I love America. I do. I'm the only one? Okay. I love this country. America is the only country where blacks, Asians, Indians, and Hispanics can all be authentically portrayed by white people. This is a wonderful country. I wouldn't want to be an American in any other country. It is incredible. And people were talking about this political campaign has just been so absurd. Sometimes I find it hard to be even crazier than what's actually going on. Do you know that the GOP has just named the co-chairs of its Committee for Diversity? Caitlyn Jenner and Dr. Ben Carson. Already there's a disagreement about which telephone booth they're going to meet in. Yeah. It's crazy, absolutely crazy. Bernie Sanders, oh my God, he has so much excitement in his campaign. Just this week in Nevada, his supporters got so excited they wanted to throw confetti, but the only thing they could find to throw were chairs. It's true, absolutely true. People are saying now, if it comes down to a debate between Hillary and Donald Trump, Hillary's gonna have to leave that high ground. She's gonna have to get down in the mud. She's gonna have to get down and dirty like she did daily with her husband. It's a crazy, crazy time. You know what? I really was astounded when Chris Christie came out to endorse Donald Trump. Do you remember that night when Chris was standing there like a deer caught in the headlights? He really was, and it reminded me of that interview that Mike Tyson had with Barbara Walters where he was like on Thorazine, you know, just to keep the real feelings from coming up. But I think Chris Christie is going to really be happy with his place in the administration holding the umbrella for Donald. That should work. That should work. My name is Rhonda Hansome, and I grew up in Brooklyn. Oh yeah. Oh, I love it. Where are you from? Where are you from?
Prospect Heights.
Prospect Heights. Where's the other person? Oh, just snapping. I grew up in Bed-Stuy. Yes, Bed-Stuy, do or die. Mostly die. Yeah, and I'll tell you something. I have had to deal with gentrification. I have really, do you know what gentrification is? That's when well-to-do people move into the apartments and homes that their grandparents fled and pay as much money as they can for those places. This is what happened to me in Bed-Stuy. I was living in a beautiful brownstone, and someone bought the building and said that I could stay there for another year if I wanted to pay twice the rent. I swear to God. But gentrification, I knew something was going on when I saw all of these blondes and redheads walking their little dogs and jogging in their little shorts, and that was just the men. When I was growing up in Bedford-Stuyvesant, I knew if I saw a stranger in my neighborhood, they were looking for drugs. Now they're looking for real estate. Cash only if you want to work in fireplace. It's amazing, absolutely amazing. Gentrification wasn't all bad because now in Bed-Stuy, Fresh Direct delivers. And you can finally get a decent $10 cup of coffee. But what the worst thing, the absolute worst thing about gentrification that I found, because I had to move. I couldn't afford the rent anymore. I am now in the South Bronx. I moved. Oh, somebody from the South Bronx?
Now the north.
Where do you live now?
I'm up in Co-op.
Oh my gosh.
They can't you into it like that, right?
No, never say never. What I found, moving to the South Bronx, it's a totally new area for me, totally new neighborhood. And the most interesting thing about gentrification is that now I am the gentrification in the South Bronx. It's a little embarrassing, actually. You know, this campaign time is so volatile. It's so challenging. Sometimes you don't know what you can say to a person, what you cannot say. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. A lot of people get upset when I say that I don't like Obama. And yeah, it's not because of his drone policy or the immigrant deportation of immigrants. It's just because I don't like sexy people. No, have you ever seen Obama getting off Air Force One with his Ray-Bans on, looking like a black James Bond? No, I don't like sexy people because you lose time thinking about them. Yes, just this week I lost 3 days thinking about holding on to Obama's ears. So, that's why I don't like him. Did I mention that I'm a Negro? I'll be a Negro all night. Have you noticed, like every 10 years we just change what we call ourselves? Sometimes we're black. Sometimes we're Afro-American. Sometimes we're third world. Why do we keep changing? Jews stay Jews, Italians stay Italians, dwarves stay about this high. Thank you for laughing at that. Gee whiz. Yeah, I did that last night. A little person walked up to me very offended and said, "I am not happy." I said, "Which one are you?" I love the politically correct assholes that tightened up on that joke. No, it really is amazing being here in America. But we have a lot of people who have a lot, the 1%. Have you ever visited a rich person, even a well-to-do person who has help, that just shares a little bit too much information? Caitlin said, "Joanna, you come when Nanny until I call you or I will braid you up tight, tight, tight." These children have no home training. Their parents raised them all by Dr. Spock. Dr. Spock is dead. You know what killed him, these unruly children? Caitlin said, "Joanna, you turn off that video and come here right now." Every single day I make these children watch a video of the New York City Marathon because every kind of person run in that race. Black, white, yellow, red. And you know how the man from my country won that race? He beat the whites. He beat the whites. He beat the whites. He run fast, fast, fast. Caitlin said, "Joanna, you come now or I will dreadlock you." You know these children don't understand. In my country, I had to wash my clothes down by the river. Yes, I would put my clothes in the water to soak, and I would go find a rock, and then I'd beat the whites. I'd beat the whites. I beat the whites. My clothes come clean, clean, clean. Caitlin said, "Joanna, you come now or I will cornrow you." I have to make these children's breakfast. Caitlin said, "Joanna, come now or you will be late for Meara. Credico.
I got a major star coming in. Sit down. No, I got a major star coming in. That seat's going to go. There's somebody going to hawk that seat in about 2 seconds. Thank you, Rhonda Hansome. Don't go anywhere, please. You guys, what kind of staying power do you have? All right, coming up next, George Carlin. No, that's not funny. That's not funny. He's a great guy. Listen, I want to move it right along because we got coming up next someone you've seen on MSNBC, someone you've seen on CNN as an analyst, as a satirical commentator, and he's got a show that I've done a couple of times on Sirius XM. And it's really great. He's very fast, very smart. A couple of weeks back, I did this 36-hour fundraiser, not a fundraiser, but a get out the vote for Bernie Sanders. Anybody go to that? And for 36 hours, I didn't sleep. Anyway, he did an hour and 15 minutes. Supposed to do 15, up to an hour and 15 to save my ass, and he's here today. Would you please welcome from his own show on Sirius XM, John Fugelsang.
From now, Randy Credico. Anybody else want to walk out on mass before we go? Anyone? Does anyone want to leave? Does anyone need a defibrillator before we start? Can I shock anyone in the audience? Wow, it's a pleasure to be in a room full of so many atheists doing the Lord's work. Thank you all. Give yourselves a hand. Because it's kind of funny. This is a year now. Well, I never thought I'd see this. We're in a period now where comedians are fighting for social justice and presidential candidates are telling dick jokes. So we've really made it all happen, and it's great to be in a room with so many liberals. No one wants to be a liberal. No one sets out to be a liberal. No one ever says, I think I'm going to adopt a set of morally and intellectually evolved positions that'll really piss off my neighbor with the bald eagle wallpaper fetish. Nobody wants to do that. But every now and then you wake up and you say, wait a second, I'm smart, I'm moral, I'd rather my tax dollars help people here than kill people over there, and my taste in music doesn't totally suck. I'm a liberal! And it's horrible. 10 years ago, I got called a liberal or a progressive or a leftist or just anti-evil because I was against the Iraq War, I was against George Bush's economic policies, I supported gay marriage and medical cannabis. Turns out I wasn't liberal, I was prematurely mainstream. And that's sort of what progressives, leftists are. We're prematurely, you're kind of like the X-Men, you know? Like, you're not mutants, you're just evolved. And you're fighting for the people who fear you. And that's why it's an honor to be here. I didn't think we could have a funnier presidential election in 2012. I gotta be honest. How could it be funnier than how could you ever have a funnier presidential election? You had Michelle Bachmann, a woman opposed to gay marriage and in one. You had Herman Cain, who almost became the first black man to get another black man re-elected president. You had Rick Perry, and I'm not going to tell any Rick Perry jokes because it's hacky, it's been done, and I forget the third thing. You had Mitt Romney. How do you not love Governor? I love Mitt Romney. I love his wife Ann. She's a great stay-at-7-homes mom. But how could you not love a guy who's like the human equivalent of a hollowed-out inflatable man beside a car dealership?